I was 23 years old when this happened. I'm 27 now, and somehow, there hasn't been a single week that's passed where I don't think about that trip. Not one. Even when I'm trying to sleep, even when life feels normal, my brain drifts back to Vegas. We were going to celebrate our friend Andrew's 21st birthday. The plan was aggressive. Not mean, just reckless. Andrew was laid back, kind of shy, and honestly, we all knew he hadn't done the deed yet. So we decided the best way to change that was to get him completely drunk, and, let's be honest, make it happen. We checked into the Carriage House Hotel. It wasn't fancy, but it was one of the more affordable options. There were 7 of us total, so we split into 2 rooms. 4 in my room, and Andrew in that same room with us. First we ate, because being drunk on an empty stomach is stupid. Then we hit the casinos, just to say we did. Out of the 7 of us, only one person left with more money than they walked in with. The rest of us got cleaned out and laughed about it like that made it better. Then the bars. Then more bars. By the time the night really kicked in, everything felt louder and funnier than it should have. We ended up in a nightclub that was going wild, lights, noise, bodies bumping everywhere. At some point we caught 2 of our friends, John and Eddie, coming out with girls. They looked at us like they were about to say, "You're all idiots," and honestly, we understood. The rest of us started pressuring Andrew to talk to someone. But even drunk, even loose, Andrew was still Andrew. Too shy to approach anyone. Too uncomfortable to dance. Like his body wanted to be there, but his mind wouldn't let him move. So we got desperate. We left the club and started searching for what we called a solution, even though we all knew it sounded terrible the moment we thought about saying it out loud. We were hammered enough that none of us could really care. We approached a girl walking alone. We played it off like we were just being friendly, like we were normal guys. We told her we wanted her to hang out with Andrew. At least, that's what I remember trying to say. What I remember most is her voice. Slightly deeper than I expected. And it felt like she wasn't just listening, she was studying him. Head to toe. Like she was deciding something. Then she grabbed Andrew's arm. And the 2 of them walked off down the sidewalk. We laughed at first, because Andrew looked awkward as hell, and we were drunk and stupid and convinced it was all going to work out. But we still tailed behind them, just to see what would happen. For about 15 minutes, maybe longer, it was quiet. Darker. Not the kind of street where you'd expect anything good. They stepped into what looked like an apartment building. We waited for a second, a third, a minute. Then we assumed it was done. We laughed again, and we went back to the club because what else could we do? We didn't want to wait around while 2 people did whatever 2 people do. We didn't realize we were walking away from the moment everything changed. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, we headed back to the hotel. And Andrew wasn't in either room. John and Eddie were shocked when they heard what happened, because they hadn't been with us earlier. But we all still assumed the same thing. Andrew was spending the night with someone and would just show up later. That's what our brains wanted to believe. I texted Andrew. I called him. He didn't answer. I kept trying anyway, Because you know that feeling when something's wrong but you can't name why? It was like that. Then I finally crashed. Slept for minutes, maybe an hour. And woke up to my phone ringing. At first I thought it was an alarm, and I even tried to swat it away like I could make it stop. But it wasn't an alarm. It was Andrew's number. My stomach dropped instantly. I told the others and answered. I heard heavy breathing. Panicked breathing. Like someone was running out of air. I put it on speaker so everyone could hear. Andrew was whispering. His words were mostly unreadable, but we caught key pieces. He kept saying something about the woman. And then he basically begged us. Guys, you have to come over right now. Then the call went silent. For a second, it felt like the world stopped spinning. We were all screaming into the phone, asking where he was, if he was okay, what was happening. And then, something snapped. Literally. A door opening hard. And then Andrew started screaming. Not the kind of scream you make when you're scared. This was the kind that sounds like pain and terror mixed together. And the call ended. I didn't think. I just called the police. I couldn't even remember where we had gone. We were too drunk. Too stupid. Too blurry. One of my friends swore he could remember the general route. The police came to the hotel. They made us come with them. We waited by the car. Minutes felt like hours. Nobody wanted to look at anybody else because we all knew what we were thinking. Finally, an officer stepped out. She asked us to go inside and confirm whether the body belonged to Andrew. I felt like my world collapsed. John and Eddie started crying immediately, they didn't even want to step in. But I followed the officer anyway. It wasn't an apartment at all. It was some kind of dark abandoned storage building. And when they opened the space, I saw him. A dead body, leaning out from a closet opening. The face looked wrong. Lifeless. The hair was the first thing that snapped my brain back to reality, blonde hair. Andrew had black hair. I knew instantly it wasn't him. But that didn't make me feel better. It just made everything feel worse. Like the universe was teasing us. They searched anyway and found nothing that gave us answers. No phone. No clue. We tried to forget it. But you don't really forget something like that. Not even a month later, I got a call. Late at night again. Bad reception. No voice at first. Then I heard a faint sound that made my skin go cold. Jesse. It was a familiar voice. Andrew's. I said his name, Andrew, loud like it could pull him out of whatever was happening. Then I heard a door slam in the background. And the call ended. I tried calling back. 5 times. Nothing. So I called the police again and asked them to trace it. The call didn't come from Nevada. It wasn't even close. It came from New Jersey. From our own town, from a house near mine. They said they were sending someone. But that wasn't enough. I needed to see it. I needed it to be real. I needed it to be under control. I drove to the address in my car like I was on fire. It was a vacant house on a corner, quiet enough to make my footsteps feel loud. I snuck up to the front door, pressed my ear to it. Nothing. I went around back. I found an open window. And I listened. Upstairs, I heard small snaps. Cracks. Like wood shifting under someone's weight. I was sure he was in there. I climbed in. Before I could even take a full step, I saw someone standing in the hallway, facing me. I couldn't see their face, just pale legs, and long black hair falling down past their shoulders. A woman. For a second I thought she was going to attack me. But instead she ran. I heard a door slam. Then footsteps stomping downstairs. Then yelling, male and female voices, arguing fast, furious. Then heavier footsteps went back upstairs. That was my cue. I ran outside and dove into the bushes like my body knew what to do before my mind did. Not even 5 seconds later, a man stepped onto the porch. And for the first time in months, it felt like luck. A police car pulled up, lights flashing. The man muttered, "Shit," and slammed the door behind him like he was realizing too late that he was caught. The police followed inside. They cuffed him. I told them there might also be a woman inside. They searched, but they never found her. One of the bedroom windows was wide open, so she escaped that way. Upstairs, they found Andrew. Locked in a closet. He was alive, but barely. Malnourished. Dirty. Hair long and tangled. The kind of smell you can't explain to anyone who hasn't seen it. They checked records on the man. He wasn't married. No immediate way to find the woman. And he claimed he only knew her for a day. Nothing made sense. Andrew told them he was raped, beaten, and hardly fed. The kind of suffering that makes you question how people survive long enough to even speak about it. And he described the first woman, what happened that night in Vegas. He said she wasn't there for romance. She was there to collect payment. And somehow, someway, they forced Andrew to give their operators our hometown information. Names. Addresses. Everyone he was with that night. That explained why they were in our area later. But it still didn't explain their intentions. Why take it that far? Why bring it home? Andrew told me details that he never told the rest of the group. When anyone asked, I'd just say, I don't know what happened. Because sometimes the truth isn't something you can safely carry. After everything, I thought it might be over. Then the threats started again. A random number texted me late at night. Fuck you. No explanation. No warning. I blocked them. It happened again a week later. Then the next month. I could feel it in my bones, whatever this was, it wasn't finished. And then one night, I woke up in the dark. Not from a sound. From light. A soft brightness outside in my backyard, shining through the blinds like someone was standing right there. I couldn't see clearly from the crack, but I could see movement. A shadow. Someone standing there, staring at my room like they were waiting for me. Then it was gone, before I could even grab my phone. And to this day, I believe it was her. The last woman Andrew saw. The one who didn't just take him, but returned to haunt everyone who survived. So yeah. Nothing about that trip makes sense. Not the order of events. Not the distance. Not the timing. But I can tell you one thing. I'm waiting. The next time I see them, I'm calling the police immediately. Or I'm not waiting at all.